It was the latest televised chapter of the power abuse scandal that has gripped Korea for weeks. On Tuesday, the richest and most powerful figures from the nation's business world were called before a parliamentary committee to answer questions about what they knew about the shady influence-peddling deals going on behind the scenes. They claimed they weren't expecting anything in return from their multi-million-dollar donations to the Mir and K-Sports foundations. Park Ji-won reports.
All 9 of the country's most powerful conglomerate leaders, including Samsung heir apparent Jae-yong and Hyundai Motor chairman Chung Mong-koo, and the leaders of SK, LG, Lotte, and more, were quizzed by a bipartisan parliamentary committee tasked with investigating the scandal surrounding President Park Geun-hye's confidant, Choi Soon-sil. Lawmakers grilled them mainly over whether the conglomerates were forced by the presidential office to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to 2 government-linked foundations allegedly controlled by Choi. The conglomerate leaders denied the accusation, saying they weren't forced to make contributions, nor did they give the money expecting favors in return. They did say, however, that they agreed to make the donations and the Federation of Korean Industries allocated the amounts. Chung, the FKI chairman and chairman of GS Group, offered this defense.
Regarding the Mir and K-Sports foundations, from a business leader's perspective, it is very hard to reject demands from the presidential office. It is a reality in Korea that it is hard to reject the government's requests.
Most of the questions were directed to Samsung Electronics Vice Chairman Jae-yong, with lawmakers asking him whether he knew that Samsung had provided Choi's daughter, equestrian athlete Chung with tens of millions of dollars. He said he didn't know about it at the time, but found out about the money transfer later. He said it was his fault that he wasn't aware of things as they were unfolding.
I acknowledge that the support was given in a very inappropriate manner, and I very much regret that I wasn't able to prevent it.
When lawmakers continued to press Lee on whether he really didn't know about the transfer, he flatly denied it, saying he would take responsibility if necessary. However, he also said he had heard there were circumstances in which Samsung had to provide direct support. The heir apparent also said he would pull Samsung from the Federation of Korean Industries, adding he's sorry for disappointing the public. Meanwhile, lawmakers urged the business tycoons to act more responsibly for the public good and asked them to unburden themselves of any lobbying links with the government. Park Ji-won, Arirang News.